Welcome to our exploration of 10 nations that are reaching a tipping point in their relationship with tourism. From the picturesque canals of Venice to the stunning landscapes of New Zealand, these places are grappling with the impact of overtourism on their communities and environments. As visitors flock to these beloved destinations, local governments and residents are increasingly voicing their concerns and seeking sustainable solutions. Join us as we delve into each location's unique challenges and the steps being taken to reclaim their cultural and natural heritage. 1. Venice, Italy. The overwhelmed city Venice is facing an unprecedented crisis due to the overwhelming number of tourists flooding its ancient streets and fragile canals. In 2024, the city reported over 30 million tourist arrivals, almost 15 times the local population of just 260,000. This surge has pushed the city's infrastructure to its limits, causing frequent water pollution, overcrowded public spaces, and damage to historic landmarks. The city council has responded with bold measures, introducing a €10 entry fee for day trippers to curb excessive visitation. Recent local polls indicate that 70% of Venetians back further restrictions, expressing deep concern for the future of their city. The government is contemplating even stricter controls, including a cap on daily visitors and new access regulations for popular sites like Piazza San Marco. These moves are more than symbolic. They reflect a growing urgency to defend Venice's heritage and environment from irreversible harm. 2. Barcelona, Spain. A fight against overtourism. Barcelona's struggle with overtourism reached new heights in 2023, recording nearly 12 million visitors, sparking widespread frustration among its 1.6 million residents. Locals have staged protests against the rising rents, noise, and litter, blaming unchecked tourism for pushing out long-time residents. The city's mayor responded by tightening regulations on short-term rentals, limiting new hotel licenses, and increasing the tourism tax in 2024. Plans are underway to cap the number of tourist accommodations, which could reduce the visitor count by up to 20% in the coming years. Surveys show that a majority of citizens now favor limiting tourist numbers to restore quality of life. The city council is also investing in campaigns urging tourists to respect local neighborhoods and customs. These measures signpost an era where Barcelona values its residents' well-being over the relentless pursuit of tourism revenue. 3. Iceland. Nature under siege. Iceland has become a global hotspot for nature lovers, but the explosive rise in tourism, from 1.7 million in 2010 to over 2.5 million in 2023, has battered its delicate ecosystems. In 2024, the government rolled out plans to restrict access to high-traffic natural sites, including the iconic Golden Circle and the volcanic black sand beaches. Environmental studies published this year show that 60% of Icelanders believe tourism is degrading their natural resources, particularly vulnerable lava fields and geothermal springs. The government is considering a seasonal cap on visitors and stricter parking regulations near sensitive zones. Local authorities have increased funding for rangers and conservation efforts, underscoring a shift from open-door tourism to focused preservation. Public sentiment has swung decisively toward sustainability, with many Icelanders now advocating for a less is more approach to tourism. 4. Bali, Indonesia. A cultural backlash. Bali's status as a dream destination has come at a cost. Over 6 million tourists arrived in 2023 alone, straining the island's environment and social fabric. In 2024, the Balinese government proposed new measures, including daily visitor limits and a tourist tax to tackle mounting waste and water shortages. A recent island-wide survey showed that 75% of locals are in favor of stricter controls to preserve their traditions and landscapes. Authorities have begun enforcing rules prohibiting certain tourist behaviors considered disrespectful, such as inappropriate dress at temples. The government is also investing in infrastructure to manage tourist waste and reduce pollution in popular beach areas. Balinese leaders warn that without intervention, overtourism could erode the very culture and beauty that draw visitors. The island is moving towards a more sustainable model, prioritizing local needs over sheer visitor numbers. 5. Thailand. The quest for sustainable tourism. Thailand's world-famous beaches and islands have seen a record-breaking influx, with more than 40 million visitors in 2023. The impact has been dramatic. Coral reefs have been damaged, and once pristine beaches like Maya Bay were temporarily closed due to environmental stress. In 2024, the Thai government announced strict daily caps on national park entries, particularly in hotspots like Phuket and Koh Phi Phi. A new visitor quota for Maya Bay has been set, limiting arrivals to just a few hundred per day to allow for ecological recovery. A recent national survey showed 80% support among Thais for these restrictions, reflecting a shift in public opinion towards conservation. The government is also considering seasonal closures for vulnerable areas and increasing park entry fees to fund restoration projects. These moves illustrate Thailand's commitment to balancing tourism's economic benefits with environmental protection. 6. Dubrovnik, Croatia. A city under pressure. Dubrovnik, famed for its medieval old town and as a filming location for global TV series, drew over 4 million tourists in 2023, dwarfing its population of 40,000. The city's narrow streets and ancient walls have buckled under the pressure, prompting authorities to propose a daily cap of 8,000 visitors to the old town starting in 2024. This is a significant reduction from the previous daily peak of 12,000, aimed at preserving both infrastructure and resident well-being. A 2024 survey found that 65% of locals support the new restrictions, worried about the irreversible impact on their cultural heritage. The city has also introduced digital monitoring systems to track and control visitor flow in real time. Local businesses are being encouraged to shift toward year-round, sustainable tourism rather than relying on mass summer arrivals. Dubrovnik's response is seen as a model for other historic cities facing similar challenges. 7. Machu Picchu, Peru. Protecting cultural heritage. Machu Picchu, the jewel of Peru's tourism, saw close to 1.5 million visitors in 2023, leading to concerns about wear and tear on its ancient structures. In early 2024, the government introduced a daily cap of 2,500 visitors, down from the previous 4,000, following calls from UNESCO and local stakeholders. The new system requires advance online booking and staggered entry times to reduce crowding and environmental impact. Recent polls reveal that 70% of Peruvians, particularly those in Cusco, favor these measures to ensure the site's longevity. The government is also investing in nearby infrastructure to disperse tourist traffic and support local communities. Enforcement of the caps is strict, with fines for operators and tourists who attempt to bypass entry limits. This decisive approach underscores the urgent need to protect Machu Picchu for future generations. 8. Amsterdam, Netherlands. A shift in tourism policy. Amsterdam welcomed over 18 million visitors in 2023, a number that has created tension with its population of just 900,000. The city council responded to mounting complaints about noise, public drug use, and congestion by announcing new restrictions in 2024. These include a tourist tax increase, bans on guided tours in sensitive neighborhoods, and limits on new hotel developments. A citywide survey found that 68% of residents now back these regulations, demanding a return to a more livable city environment. The government is also piloting crowd control measures in the red light district, closing certain streets to tourists during peak hours. Amsterdam's pivot signals a broader European trend. Cities are prioritizing residents' quality of life over unchecked tourism growth. The new policies are being closely watched by other cities grappling with similar issues. 9. Santorini, Greece. A balancing act. Santorini, with its iconic whitewashed houses and breathtaking caldera views, attracted more than 2 million tourists in 2023, far exceeding its permanent population of less than 15,000. Local authorities have voiced alarm over mounting pressure on water resources, waste management, and public transport. In 2024, the island is considering strict limits on daily cruise ship arrivals and capping the number of day trippers permitted ashore. Surveys show that 72% of residents are in favor of these steps, citing a decline in quality of life and environmental degradation. The local council is working on a new zoning plan to protect sensitive areas from overdevelopment linked to tourism. There's also talk of introducing a tourist tax specifically earmarked for sustainability projects. These efforts highlight the delicate balance Santorini must strike between economic gains and preserving its unique character. 10. New Zealand. A focus on conservation. New Zealand's dramatic scenery has drawn nearly 3.8 million tourists in 2023, a figure comparable to the nation's entire population. The government has responded with a suite of new measures in 2024, including capping visitor numbers in popular national parks like Fiordland and Tongariro, and introducing a visitor levy to fund conservation. Recent research shows that 65% of New Zealanders support these policies, reflecting a shared national commitment to environmental stewardship. The Department of Conservation has increased staff and resources to monitor tourist behavior and enforce new limits. Authorities are also piloting stricter biosecurity checks to prevent ecological damage from invasive species brought by visitors. The government's long-term vision is to make New Zealand a leader in sustainable tourism, setting an example for other countries facing similar pressures.